Wait, bruh. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Don't go to the comment section just yet. I know. That comment you're about to type, I know. Nurse is broken. Nurse is the best character in the game. Nurse doesn't need any buffs. I know. Nurse doesn't need any buffs. I acknowledge that right now. Nurse needs nothing. Nurse needs absolutely nothing. Okay? The character, the nurse, needs absolutely zero buffs. I acknowledge that right now. Don't say Rosie said this. Rosie thinks this would be good on the nurse. Rosie said this. Rosie, I don't play the nurse, bro. Nurse is not my character. Uh, so, so don't be saying. Plus, if I said something about the nurse, it's probably inaccurate. If there's a comment from Fazner on this video, that's the opinion you should really be listening to, not me. Uh, Nurse is not my character, bro. But I acknowledge that Nurse needs no buffs, zero, nothing. The biggest issues with the Nurse right now are have more to do with optimization and people just not being good at her versus her skill cap, which is fine. We're not the Nurse doesn't need a high kill rate for her to be the best character in the game. We don't really need that. Like I got it, guys. Nurse is the best. Uh, like her optimization and her bugs are her biggest issues, which so if behavior's gonna take a look at her, they need to flesh out those bugs is what they really need to do. Fleshing out those bugs on her would be a bigger buff for her than anything you could possibly do to her in IMO. Just fleshing out those bugs. Arditha even acknowledges that she's not as fun anymore, and even with all those bugs, nobody plays her, and one of my biggest concerns with this character, I know nobody wants to acknowledge this possibility, but barely anybody plays her. She has the lowest kill rate. It's possible that they just straight up abandon this character's idea altogether and just give her a complete full on rework. To one, make her more accessible, and two, to make her more balanced and more there's a I don't even want to call it a nerf. It would just be like a redesign. I know no one wants to acknowledge that possibility, including myself, but the quicker we start acknowledging that it is a possibility that they could just straight up come up with something different for her, the less mad we'll all be about it when it all happens, if it does. Okay, but this series is called How to Buff So and So. This is a series for the sake of completion and for the sake of formality. I am giving Nurse a video. Okay, but I acknowledge that Nurse needs absolutely none of this. Nurse needs no changes, and if it was in my opinion, they should just my true opinion on Nurse is that they should leave her alone. But if you do actually take a look at her add-ons and take a look at what they designed for her, her add-on kit is actually garbage. So as crazy good as the Nurse is right now, you could make her better. You actually could. And we're going to go through and discuss how you could make her better. So if you were going to buff the Nurse, this is how to buff the Nurse. So let's fucking buff the Nurse, bruh. How to buff the Nurse. Here it is. Not that you'd fucking want to, but how to buff the Nurse. Base kit changes, obviously nothing. The Nurse with no add-ons is stronger than 99% of all setups in this game. So the character needs no base kit changes. Zero. Alright. So now that we've acknowledged all that, the rest of this is going to be pretty fast, because while Nurse does have some weird add-ons, the majority of her kit is okay. In terms of a modern kit design, Nurse's kit is way better than the Hillbillies. Nurse got off way easier on her add-on rework than Billy did. Billy got crushed. She actually is alright. So we start with the first family, Dark Cinctor and Fragile Wheeze. These reduce the blink recovery time. This is all fine and dandy. So the amount of, if you actually stack these, it's like playing old add-on-less Nurse pre-patch. So these add-ons are obviously fine. They can stay just as is. This family is good to go, bruh. Next, another family that's good to go. Heavy Panting and Kavanaugh's Last Breath increases blink range and blink charge time considerably and tremendously. These add-ons can allow her to go so fucking far, and they're debatably broken, but if we're buffing the nurse, we're leaving these alone. So they're fine. They're both really good. Obviously, you want to run something like probably Kavanaugh's Last Breath with the Fragile Wheeze. That might be one of her best combos right now. I don't know. Listen to Thasner, not me. But those are the add-ons that are like really, really good. The rest of this shit is considered gimmicky trash. So, I mean, I know she has some alright stuff, but like when you have a character like the nurse that is so fucking powerful in their base kit, what the only thing you can really give them is gimmicky trash, because like nothing you do to her is gonna be better than just running her with no add-ons, except for like these four things. And then like she has a lot of her like brown and yellow stuff is like dedicated to like giving her minor stat increases, but then the rest of the green, purples, and iridescents are all fucking gimmicky trash. But that's beside the point. Okay, so as we now begin to go through her add-ons, the thing that I have decided to kind of do with this character is kind of let anything that's gimmicky that we wanted to keep gimmicky or helps new players, we made it a yellow or a common. And then as we approach the iridescence and the purples and the greens, that's when we started giving stuff to help good nurses. So her add-ons are kind of divided into two sections, where the yellow and the browns help babies, and green, purple, iridescents would be useful to top level nurses. Okay, so let's take a look at them here. First add-on, White Nick Comb. Behavior: increases blood points but for blink attack by 100%, decreases post-blink lunge range. Thasner, you cannot tell me that this add-on is better for learning her than Spasmodic. I'm sorry, dude. I don't like that. I don't think this is the add-on that we should have given her for like why? Why would you want to make people be more precise with her, bruh? That's gonna just make people even more frustrated when they play her. So my change is this. Temporarily disables Spencer's Last Breath and increases the nurse's base movement speed to 4.6 after landing a post-blink. Effect lasts for 60 seconds. I just put Spasmodic on the White Nick Comb. It opens up a green, so we can do something with a green to help good nurses. And then my gimmick idea for learning her with Spasmodic has been moved down to a common. So it doesn't cost as much in the Blood Web when it's there. People that are trying to learn her like this will have it more. And it's out of the way, and then it makes everybody happy. It makes everybody happy. We got rid of an add-on that sucks for everybody. We replaced it with one of her gimmicky, and we opened up a green to do something with for better nurse players. I think that's perfect. That's a perfect little change. Plaid Flannel. Behavior allows the nurse to see target blink locations. Just leave this one alone. It's doing what it's there to do for the new nurses. But while you shouldn't run it forever, nor should you run White Nick Comb forever. This is one of those other beginner options. It's doing what it's designed to do. Just leave it alone. Next, Wooden Horse. Behavior moderately decreases the extra post-blink fatigue duration applied by a missed blink attack. So basically, if you go for a swing, it's less punishing. So it's like encourages you to go for attacks after blinks. This is fine. Leave it alone. It encourages newer nurse players to take a chance on a swing if they think they have it. So it encourages you to like go for blinks in situations where you might not go for them. Just it's all about comfort. It's all about just getting comfortable. So that's fine. Again, it's for new players. All this stuff is for new players. Metal Spoon moderately increases grunts of pain volume after hitting a survivor with a post blink attack for 60 seconds. In terms of effects that you can give survivors after hitting post blinks, this is not very good. I don't consider Strider that good, and I don't think the nurse needs this. However, if the idea is to make survivors easier to hit, hear me out here. Increase the nurse FOV by 15%. You open up a perk slot for her because some nurses like to run Shadowborn. They like Shadowborn. By having a common add-on open up Shadowborn in her add-on kit, it will free up a perk slot for her. So this common add-on here actually has utility in Shadowborn nurse kits. It allows those people to run this Because again, Nurse can run whatever she wants. I think we all know that. Nurse can run pretty much whatever she wants and be very effective. So by giving her Shadowborn, one of her better perks, and one of her a lot of her player base actually runs Shadowborn. There's two types of nurses: the ones that run Shadowborn and the ones that don't. Like, you can't just take off Shadowborn as Nurse if you run her with Shadowborn every single time. Trust me, I tried. Like, I ran Shadowborn on her for a little bit, then I tried to take the stupid thing off, and then it's hard. It's much harder. So, giving her this opens that up, and then maybe frees us up that final perk slot. So, those are her comments. Not too bad. Next, Pocket Watch. Behaviors version. Moderately increases chain blink window duration. This is admittedly, it's kind of good for nurses that aren't getting that blink timer down yet. So it's kind of good for new players, but it also has some good duration. It also has some duration. It also has some utility with top nurses because you can combine it with one of these add-ons up here, Heavy Panting and Kavanaugh's Last Breath, because the more you're charging, the more distance you go. So you'll be able to get some utility out of it even if you're a good nurse, so you can leave that one alone. It's actually a really good yellow. It has utility for both good nurses and beginner nurses, so it's a very nice add-on. Next, Dull Bracelet. Behaviors version is increased blood points for precise blink scoring events by 100 and decreases maximum blink range. Again, this is not good. It doesn't help you learn Nurse, it just actively makes her more difficult. And she's already the hardest killer on the roster, so there's no need for something like this. So mine is this. After blinking, it allows the nurse to immediately blink back to her original position by pressing the active ability button, triggered before the nurse succumbs to post-blink fatigue. So this is one of her purples. I forget which one it is, but we moved this down here because it's kind of a gimmick, and it can also be used by newer nurses if they see somebody running back at them. If they press the active ability button, they can immediately go back to their original position. And it's kind of, it's a gimmick at top level as well. Like, a good nurse could use it for a top level gimmick, surprise option. And it could also, again, it's a decent yellow. It's not worth a purple, but it's a decent yellow. So we moved it down. And again, based on what we're replacing, I don't think anybody has any complaints about that. Alright, Catonic's Boy's Treasure. Behavior considerably decreases extra post-blink fatigue duration applied by train blink. So if you get extra fatigue when you do a train blink, we all know that. This decreases that duration. So it's fine as is. It encourages more people, it encourages chain blinks, and the stat decrease is actually okay for good nurses as well. So that's alright as well. Badman's Keepsake. Behaviors version. The aura of survivors healing or being healed is revealed to the nurse within 28 meters after hitting with a post-blink attack. Effect lasts for 60 seconds. So she gets Nurse's Calling for 60 seconds after hitting post-blink. Okay? This add-on is fine. Okay? It is. You don't really need to change this add-on. But hear me out here. I decided to go with something a little bit more experimental. Okay? Like, I forgot that. I forgot about the Undetectable. She even has an Undetectable add-on that this combos with. So this is a neat little gimmick. But I decided to give her something a little bit different. Okay, here's mine. I think this would be better on newer nurses because it would help guide them. Well, it would be better on all nurse players, TBH. Well, I don't know. This is just a food for thought change. I don't know if this would necessarily be better or not. Food for thought, though. The aura of survivors healing or being healed is revealed to the nurse after hitting the survivor with a post-blink attack, and the effect lasts for 30 seconds. There's one key difference there. 28 meters and nothing. So mine would be cross-map. Mine would be a cross-map aura reveal to anybody who's healing, but it lasts half the time. It would separate it from Nurse's Calling a little bit, so there's potential to run them both together. I don't know. I don't know if that would be better or not. I just thought food for thought change. Okay, now we get into the greens. So this kind of stuff is kind of the gimmicky stuff. That's stuff to help beginner nurses. Now we're at the greens. And these are when we're going to start kicking off the add-ons that are really going to be used for good nurse players. Okay? And again, before we get into all of this insane shit, keep in mind that I don't think Nurse needs any of this. Please. Nurse needs none of this. But if you were going to buff her, This is the stuff that's gonna like make it obvious what I'm talking about how our kit could be better. If you were going to buff the nurse, this is how you do it. Spasmodic breath, obviously we went over this one. It makes nurse 115 for 60 seconds after hitting a post blink. So we made that a common. And what do we do with this one? Successful blink attacks apply the exhaustion status effect for 20 seconds. Hitting a blink attack could apply exhaustion to get rid of Dead Hard. You see what I mean about how nurse is not even, her add-ons are not even that good? If you wanted to make them good, just you do this. Where, no, you don't get Dead Hard, bruh. She could give her a Dead Hard counter. Because Dead Card kind of shreks her. It's one of her biggest weaknesses. So by giving, if you ran this, oh fuck, nurse players would love it. That's what I mean about how she could actually be better than she is. Next. Ataxic respiration. Behavior decreases post-blink fatigue duration. I mean, it's okay. I mean, that's fine, but this is, like, we're above stat increases when we're at green. Successful post-blink attacks apply the mangled status effect until healed. It goes with Nurse's Calling, and it goes with that other add-on that she had earlier. So, I don't, especially since she could use Mangled, I don't know why she doesn't have an add-on that applies it. If the Wraith applies it, Nurse uses Mangled too, so... Especially since that would help her snowball if she was running Infectious or something. Helping the heal, like, stop the heals would be really, really good. So, like, yeah, that's good. And speaking of Infectious, Behavior's version of Anxious Gasp. Blinking past a survivor causes them to scream and award 200 points in the deviousness category. Bro, what the hell is that? In case you miss them? Is that what that's for? In case you have bad eyes and miss them? Bruh. So, yeah, my version. Upon putting a survivor in the dying state with a blink attack, all survivors within your terror radius give up a scream notification. So you can just have Infectious Fright as an add-on. See what I mean about how she could be better? God, bro, this is broken shit. What am I doing here, bro? Oh, this is dirty. This is very dirty, bro. You know, so yeah, I think that would be good. Nurse already runs Infectious Fright, so like, as good as that is, you could put this in the game. Since it doesn't break her any more than she already is broken, because she already can run Infectious Fright. So like, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't, it's not totally broken. Because it's already in. It basically is already, it's not a new situation for survivors to have to deal with, because it's already in the game. So, it'd be alright. Next, Jenner's Last Breath. Behavior's version. After blinking, it allows the nurse to immediately blink back to her original position. So yeah, we made that a yellow, because it's not really good enough to be a purple. So what's a purple here, bro? Upon a successful blink attack, gain a token, max 2. For each token, increase the nurse's movement speed by 5%. Any basic attack will then burn a token. Okay, now, could this be a yellow? I mean, I guess it could be a little bit less, maybe. I feel like this could be a green. You could move this one up to purple, because this is better than this one is. But, you know, little cute little gimmick. It's still decent. Like, the more I read it, the more I think that the purple one should be the Infectious Fright. Or even the Exhaustion, because I don't think this is better than either of those. But, 97% movement speed, making her go up to 107. Little nurse flying at you. It will allow, again, newer players. So yeah, the more I read this, the more I think it should go down a little bit. But it will allow new players to be faster than survivors and secure some hits, even if they're not the best at blinking. So that's pretty decent. It's alright. It's okay. But yeah, the more I read it, the more I think it should be a yellow or a green. Campbell's Last Breath. Behaviors. Upon reappearing from a fully charged blink, the nurse immediately blinks at half the charge in the direction she's currently facing. I've seen some people do some gimmicks with this, but all in all, I think you'd rather be in control of that second blink, and I think it's kind of useless, TBH. So mine. Upon landing a successful blink attack, all charges to Spencer's Last Breath are restored. Kind of goes on with the hillbilly thing, where if you hit a successful blink, you can get your charges back because you get rewarded for hitting your blink. So yeah, I would go with the Infectious Fright add-on to be like a free snowball. You don't have to wait for those charges to come back. So again, it would kind of be a replacement to the other family that we were seeing earlier with the recharge rates, where if you just land a successful blink attack, you don't have to go through the process of restoring the blink charges. So that'd be broken. Batman's Last Breath. Behavior. Grants the nurse undetectable status effect after hitting a survivor for 16 seconds. Cooldown of 60 seconds. Bruh. I don't understand why behavior opts to give undetectable status effects to some of the loudest killers in the game. And they don't silence them. And especially with a 60-second cooldown and a mediocre 16 seconds. I mean, it's okay. It's not purple. It just needs a little buff. So here's mine. Grants the nurse undetectable status after hitting a survivor with post-blink. The effect lasts for 30 seconds instead of 60. Nurse makes no noise throughout the undetectable. So when she's blinking, she doesn't have to, like, give off or... Like, she doesn't do that. Because, like, but that would give her away. So that's kind of our new base nurse kit. As you can see here, it's a lot of emphasis on the gimmicks is gone. Provided, like, instead of gimmicks, just... How you buff the nurse is simple. You get rid of the gimmicks and give her rewards for hitting her attacks. That's all you have to do to, like, give her effective buffs. And give her, like that would make her objectively stronger than she is right now, which is insane considering how strong she already is. What's really scary about the nurse, and, like, before we go into the iridescence, what's very scary about the nurse is actually how much room for improvement there actually is. Because of how strong she already is, and then how much better she could be if you gave her some of these changes. Like, her kit's actually extremely bad. But that's okay, because she has the strongest base kit in the game, so she makes it work. Anyway, going to the iridescence now. Behavior's version of Torn Bookmark. Adds 1 blink charge, no longer can blink through solid objects. The fact that she can't blink through solid objects cripples this iridescent, and you don't really want to be using it. So... My version is grants the nurse the ability to cancel her blinks. Has it ever happened to you that you were charging a blink and then you just wanted to cancel it, but you can't because you can't cancel a blink? Well, now you can. Just press the cancel button on the, like if you're fucking throwing a bottle, you can cancel bottles, right? Hey, can you cancel models? I'm trying to think of powers you can cancel. Can clowns cancel a bottle throw? I think he can. Oh, it grants the... I don't know. I'm not going to think about it anymore. It grants the burst the ability to cancel a blink. So you don't have to commit to a blink if you don't think it's a good option anymore. Or, like, someone's coming back at you, you can cancel the blink and then hit them. Or, my other iridescent is what its main usage is. Matchbox. Behavior's version increases the nurse movement speed to 4.2, removes 1 chain blink. Again, not that good. It's a gimmick. So mine is grants the nurse the ability to see the auras of all survivors within 12 meters of her location when charging a blink. So you're moving around the map, you're moving, you're blinking, and then boom, you see somebody that fucking with your add-on, you can either cancel your blink and then hit them, or you can just blink right over to them. So you got the ability to cancel a blink combined with 12 meters of aura seeing, and that would buff the nurse. Again, would you want to do any of this? Absolutely not. The nurse is absolutely strong enough as she is, and but it really shows you one thing. The biggest takeaway from this is how flawed Behavior's add-on design actually is. Because when you're looking at this add-on kit, you can fucking improve it so many ways. And for the nurse, it may just be funny about how bad her add-ons are. But the problem is that add-ons like these are on everybody. Okay? Bad add-ons are on everybody. The nurse is allowed to have bad add-ons because the nurse's base kit is okay. It was the one time Behavior designed an add-on kit around a base kit being good, and it was fine, okay? With other characters, you can't do that. And what we basically did was we made an add-on kit around giving the nurse effective buffs for a base kit that's not fine. So obviously they're all OP as fuck when you really look at them. The nurse in and of herself is completely OP. But I will end the video saying one thing. The best reasonable buffs you can give this character are optimization. She needs optimization more than anything else. You have to fix these bugs. People are not enjoying her as much as they used to because she gets buggier and buggier. She's a character that as more and more bugs pile up on her, I feel like behavior's less inclined to fix them, and they're less motivated to fix them when she has a low kill rate and hardly anybody plays her anyway. So I don't, what the future of this character is uncertain to me. I really feel like the possibility of a full rework is bigger than people realize, and I want people to start acknowledging that possibility now before it hits us and it comes out of nowhere. You know what I mean? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I just gotta charge this a little bit. Then I gotta fill Myers, and that's gonna be really fucking rough. Oh god, Myers was so difficult. GG's, guys.